Hey guys, welcome to Budget with a July Dreamer. My name is Miranda, and on this channel, I talk about personal finance, specifically sharing tips on how to save, how to invest, as well as how to budget your money. If these topics are of interest to you, then do not forget to hit that subscribe button, as well as give this video a like because it really helps out my channel. So in today's video, I'll actually be sharing my second ever Transfer Tuesday. And if you're new or I've not heard of Transfer Tuesday before, so this was initially, as far as I'm aware, was started by Mary over at Pennies Not Perfection, where you share your money moves every single week. So these money moves can be big, they could be small, they can be whatever. And this is why I love Transfer Tuesdays. I love watching other people's Transfer Tuesdays, and I wanted to get on board because I am looking to pay off my mortgage. I have a 35-year mortgage. I'm looking to pay that off in the next 10 years, and using money saving expert.com website, I was able to calculate that if I make a £200 extra repayment every single month, I will be able to pay off my mortgage in the next 9 years and 4 months, which works with my plans for the next 10 years, which is great. So you are encouraged to make whatever money moves that you can afford that week, whether it's to pay off debt, whether it's like for me paying off a mortgage, or maybe saving up for a goal that you have set for yourself. So for my Transfer Tuesdays, I mentioned in my first video, which I will link up above or put in the description bar below, I mentioned that I'll be focusing on the extra mortgage repayments that I'm making, as well as funding my emergency fund and other financial goals that I might have at that time that I want to share to keep myself accountable. So we'll start off with the extra mortgage repayment. So last week I was able to add in £90 and 19 pence extra towards my mortgage, and this went to pay off the balance of my mortgage. And then as soon as I did that, I realized I had a little bit more money in my budget, so I was able to make another extra repayment of £100. That was all last week, and then this week, today, I've actually been able to make an extra payment of £32 and 37 pence. So all of this comes up to actually over £200, which is more than well, just about my target that I have set for myself to be making towards my mortgage. I'm really happy about that, because if I'm able to make this extra repayment according to the calculations, I should be able to pay off this mortgage in the next 10 years, which is good news. Then for the second money move that I'm making this week, it's towards my emergency fund, which is quite funny actually, because, well, not funny, haha, because I do have an emergency that has come up that I need to take care of, and I know that I'll be taking out 1,500 for my emergency fund. I did mention last week that I currently have 6,500, so this is actually going to bring it down to 5,000. And for the money move that I am making this week, I'm actually going to be adding £274 towards my mortgage, towards my emergency fund. So it actually is going to be just 5,274 as opposed to what I was expecting to be, which was going to be 6,774. But you know, this is the whole point of having an emergency fund, so that when emergencies do come up, you can use that emergency fund. And I made a video about emergency funds, and I'll link it up above or in the description bar below. And it's really important for people to know what they classify as an emergency, as opposed to something that you can either run through your budget or something that is not an emergency. I also wrote a blog post about this, and I'll also share that link in the description bar below, or I'll just put up here or wherever on my screen. I can afford to put a screenshot of my website so you can have a look at that article as well. So for my emergency fund, I'm getting to actually spend some of the money that is in the emergency fund for the emergency that I have in my life at the moment, as well as put something towards my emergency fund. And I think this is really important, that you're not discouraged, that just because you have an emergency fund for either 3 months or 6 months of expenses doesn't mean that when you use it up you shouldn't be adding back. This also important that whatever you spend you put it back. So I know that for my June budget, I'll share this in my budget planning video when I make it in a week's time, that I will be able to put the money that I'm spending this month for this emergency back into my emergency fund, and I'll start this process all over again. I do have a target of £15,000 that I'm hoping to save for 6 months worth of expenses. And if I am honest with myself, I don't need £15,000 for 6 months of expenses, but there are certain things that are happening in my life that has made me realize that actually, do you know what, I could do with having more than £10,000 in my emergency. So I calculated all my numbers, including the things that I have happening in my life, and I realized that I actually need about £15,000 to cover 6 months of expenses. And that's what I've decided to actually do. So yeah, that's what I will be doing for my emergency fund. So I'm tracking 3 months as well as 6 months. So for my 3 months target, I should be able to achieve that in the next 2 months, purely because I'm spending some money this month, which means that I have to move my target to reach 3 months to another month. I was going to achieve that next month, but it looks like I will be achieving it in July. But if I do make extra income from my blog, I'll probably be able to come back on track as I had initially planned, but who knows. So yeah, so for my mortgage extra repayment so far in the month of May, I have made over a £200 contribution. For my emergency fund, I'm only adding £374, plus at the same time taking out £1,500 from my emergency fund. And then for other financial goals that I do have, I'm actually not ready yet to share this. Maybe next week's Transfer Tuesday I will be able to say something, but at the moment I'm just mom's the word. So this is why I'm not really mentioning my other financial goals that I do have. So this is all I wanted to share in my Transfer Tuesday. Let me know in the comments bar below if you also do any Transfer Tuesdays and what money moves you were able to make this week. If you weren't able to make any, that's fine, because you know, if you don't have anything to put, then you don't have. But if you do have, even if it's just £5, £10, $1, $2, whatever it is, you should make sure that you do make those money moves if it is feasible for you. You don't have to force yourself to do it. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.